Marvel and DC's first crossover in years is finally here. Deadpool and Batman #1. This is Marvel's side of it. Marvel's publishing this, and then a little bit later, DC will be publishing their own side of it. And this has several different crossovers in it. It's not just Deadpool and Batman. Deadpool and Batman are the meat and potatoes of it. They're the first story, but then you get some smaller backup stories, like you get Green Arrow and Daredevil. You get like a Green Lantern and the Guardians of the Galaxy. You get several different ones in here. So let's get into it. Let's talk about it because this was supposed to be the comic that's supposed to help rejuvenate the industry, get even more people into comic books, get maybe longtime readers that had lapsed and gone away to come back and get new readers excited about comics. And does it really do that? Well, that's what I want to talk about today. First, we'll talk about the Deadpool and Batman story, and obviously spoilers if you haven't read any of these stories, I'm going to be spoiling them. So, Deadpool and Batman is written by Zeb Wells, and the art is done by Greg Capullo. Greg Capullo's art is pretty good on this, but it's not prime Greg Capullo. There's nothing that really blows you away, but it looks good. It's Greg Capullo. He's always solid. And Zeb Wells, I'll say, has a pretty good voice for Deadpool. Deadpool's pretty funny in this. I like how he does Deadpool. And his Batman and Joker are fine, but there's nothing really that blows you away in this main story. It opens up with Bruce at Wayne Manor investigating something Joker has done. He realizes that all of the chemicals to make Joker venom have been stolen, so he knows that Joker's obviously behind this. He's trying to figure out what to do, and in the middle of that, Deadpool crashes in, and you think Deadpool's going to be there to kill Bruce Wayne, but no, he's just there to talk to him because he's like, I'm here to take down Batman. But I figured I might as well do a twofer and see, since you're like probably some dirty scumbag billionaire, see if there's anyone you want me to take out so I can make even more money while I'm here because I'm from out of town. So they have a little talk, and then the bat signal happens, and Deadpool bolts the bat signal because he realizes that's his best chance to get Batman. He has a little confrontation with Jim Gordon. I like their little back and forth. It's pretty good. And then Batman shows up and takes out Deadpool instantly. Just no chance. It is pretty funny. They have a pretty good exchange, but Deadpool pulls out his pistol. He's like, I didn't want to use these because I heard they make you cry, but it's pretty good. I'll say again, Zeb Wells has a good voice for Deadpool. He's very funny in this without being incredibly annoying. So Batman easily defeats Deadpool. He ties him up, and then Commissioner Gordon's like, Joker says he got 6 hours to come and find him and stop him before the Joker venom gets released all around Gotham and everyone's, Jokerized. And Deadpool's like, oh, I know how to figure this out. And they talk about how there was a full moon like a couple days ago, and with that there's low tides, and so you can hide stuff in a cave. And so Deadpool and Batman team up. Seems kind of stupid. You're thinking, like, why would Batman team up with Deadpool, this guy that just tried to kill him? It doesn't make any sense, but Batman's like, we're short on time, and, it takes a madman to find a madman. So they team up, they go in the Batmobile. When they're in the Batmobile, Deadpool's like, now I've got you in an enclosed space, and he just uses some knockout gas on him and instantly knocks him out. Then Batman wakes up in Joker's cave where Joker has all the Joker venom and everything, and they start talking, and he explains to him how he got Deadpool there and what happened. Essentially, Joker had an epiphany that he shouldn't be using just normal henchmen anymore. He should use someone more like himself to help and have a buddy to team up with. So he asked Claire and the Witch Boy to help him locate someone that is as dastardly as he is, and he located Deadpool. And then to get Deadpool, he needed Reverse Slash to use the Cosmic Treadmill to get him. It's kind of stupid, but whatever, who cares? And also, it's weird because this is the only one that gives an explanation for the crossover. Every backup story, it's like they just all exist in the same universe, but in this one, they're like, we had to explain why they're crossing over. Well, they didn't even need to explain it at all, but anyways, they do. Also, something that's a little odd here is Joker's like 6 inches taller than Batman. Have no idea why. They're both standing up straight. It doesn't appear Joker's wearing heels or lifts or anything. It's just Joker's way taller than Batman, so I don't know why Capullo decided on that. It just threw me off for a panel. But Batman quickly plays Deadpool and Joker against each other. He essentially talks about how much Deadpool is better than Joker and how Deadpool is a real nemesis and Joker's kind of a joke and things along that lines. And then Deadpool starts to sort of agree and is like, yeah, we could both be Batman's nemesis. We don't need to kill him. He's really fun. He's like a once-in-a-lifetime guy. I'm having a lot of fun with this Batman guy. So he plays them against each other. Batman breaks out, and he goes, and Joker's like, all right, there's no way to stop me because I have this thing set up to where it's going to distribute the Joker venom in like 30 seconds to all around Gotham. And the only way to stop it is to press that button. But if you press that button, you explode. Deadpool instantly presses the button because he's Deadpool and it doesn't hurt him. Also, forgot to mention he got Jokerized a second earlier because him and Joker did a handshake and Joker infected him with Joker venom. But again, it's Deadpool, so it doesn't matter. So again, it's pretty funny. It's a fun little story, but it's nothing like amazing, or I think that's really gonna get people back into comics. I don't think it was the big hit that you really needed, but it was good. It wasn't bad or anything. It was just kind of, by the number story, but Deadpool was definitely the highlight. I liked Deadpool a lot in this. And also at the end of it, Batman tells Deadpool that this was all part of his plan. He let Deadpool capture him because he knew that'd be the quickest way to find Joker. And so it's like, oh, okay, so Batman wasn't actually an idiot earlier to work with Deadpool. It actually made sense. And then he's like, I'll let you go, Deadpool, because you did help save the city, but get out of town. And Deadpool then is, when Batman drives away, is like, what if I stick around a little longer? So it's setting up the next crossover that DC is publishing to see what Deadpool's going to be doing in Gotham. The next one is Wonder Woman and Captain America from Chip Zdarsky and Terry Dodson. Um, I like the art from Terry Dodson. This really feels like a waste of space in this book, though. The writing is not very good. I don't really care about this story or understand why it was a part of this crossover. Chip Zdarsky just does not give a good story here that is worthy of being in your $7 comic book. So this story is Wonder Woman and Captain America met during World War II, and Wonder Woman convinced Cap not to kill Hitler, because in this, alternate universe, Cap got to Hitler and he was gonna execute him, and Wonder Woman essentially is like, this isn't justice, blah, blah, blah. The whole hero speech that they've heard 800 million times before in every single comic book or comic book movie or comic book anything. You've heard it all before. That's the spiel that Wonder Woman gives to Cap. And then they talk about how they've been best friends ever since, and they've been saving each other and helping each other, because in this universe also, Cap was able to convince her not to kill Maxwell Lord, and blah, blah, blah. And then in the end, you see when Cap's about to die and they're fighting a big threat, and he's like, save everyone again, justice, Wonder Woman. And it's just, reading this, I was like, is that anything ever gonna happen? I don't really care about Wonder Woman and Cap being best friends. It's just not very good. Again, the art from Terry Dodson's good, but the story is just a waste of space. Did not need to be here. Next, we get a Crypto and Jeff the Landshark crossover from Kelly Thompson, Gihuru. Might have messed up that name, sorry. It's a fun little, it's just like a couple pages. I think it's like 4 pages or something. It's them playing a volleyball, having fun, and then Supergirl and Kate Bishop call them each home, dinner's ready. And it's just a fun little story. I understand why this is in here, because if you're having kids that are gonna buy this, and Crypto's big from the movie, and Jeff the Landshark's big from Marvel Rivals, so I understand why you'd put this in here. It's fun. It's just a short little story. I have no problem with it, but for me personally, it's nothing that I really care about, but I'm fine with it. It was a fun little story of them just having a back and forth, and this was kind of for the kids, so I get it. Next up is the best story from this entire crossover. It's great. It should have been the main story. It's Green Arrow and Daredevil from Kevin Smith and Adam Kubert. It rocks. So they're in Hell's Kitchen. You have the League of Shadows and the Hand are both causing chaos, and Daredevil and Green Arrow are both fighting them and don't even realize the other's fighting them until they run into each other, and then they're having a back and forth, and they're like, are you a good guy, are you a bad guy? And Green Arrow's like, I know how irony pilled you New Yorkers are, so you being dressed like a devil, you're probably one of the angels. And it's their back and forth is great. Their inner monologue's great. They're so different because there's a part where they're falling and they each do their own thing to recover, and Daredevil's like, ah, lucky devil, and Green Arrow's like, God, I'm good. It's so great. It reminded me of the Superman Batman series from Jeff Loeb, how you would read the inner monologue and it was such a great mirror between Batman and Superman. That's how this was, and it was so good. I love this. And of course, Adam Kubert kills it. He's amazing. He's always great, but he didn't phone it in for this crossover. He did amazing. The book looks great, and it's a lot of fun. Count Vertigo shows up at the end and obviously is not a fun time for Daredevil, but Green Arrow ends up saving him by, on the run, making his own boxing glove arrow, because he gets knocked into Fogwell's gym and he grabs a boxing glove and puts it on one of his arrows and then knocks out Count Vertigo. It's awesome. It's a great story. It's very short because obviously it's one of the backup stories, but it's so good. And this is the one where I was like, okay, why wasn't every story this good? Next up is Green Lantern and Guardians of the Galaxy crossover from Al Ewing and Dick Ruin. And this is a lot of fun. It's only 2 pages, but you have the Green Lantern Corps and the Guardians of the Galaxy swapping a member. So they swap Hal Jordan with Rocket Raccoon just to do a good faith, oh, we'll give you one of ours, you give us one of theirs. We're a team now. We're trying to promote this. And it's really fun because obviously Rocket causes a lot of problems. He does so many things for himself. He's very selfish. He causes a lot of issues. He shoots Sinestro in the face on the first day. There's a lot of issues that he causes. And then at the end of the book, they call up the Guardians from the Green Lantern Corps, call up the Guardians of the Galaxy, and they're like, hey, this ain't going so hot. Rocket's done some bad things. They're like, do you think Rocket's done some bad things? What, Hal's a problem? They're like, hey, what's a parallax? And you see that Hal has defeated Thanos and taken the Infinity Gauntlet and gone full parallax. It's like, that was great. It was a really fun, just 2-page story, but it was so great. Next up is a not very good story, which was Old Man Logan versus Dark Knight Returns Batman, written and drawn by Frank Miller. Now, I don't think Frank Miller has been able to write or draw well in a long time, and it's a little 3-page story, so it's not much, but it's just them two talking, fighting, and then Batman wins because Frank Miller wrote it, so of course Batman's going to win, but Batman just ties a bunch of explosives to Logan's waist, and that's how he wins, and that's it. It's not very interesting. The dialogue's bad. The art is even worse. It's not very good. I have no problem with Legends getting paid. I think Frank Miller, I'm fine with DC throwing him a book every now and again. I think that's great because I do think he deserves to get paid because he's a legend in this industry. But at the very least, don't have him draw it because he really... I know some people still like his art style, but I loved his art style back in the day, like what he did on the Wolverine book with Claremont. Amazing. But there's a big dip in quality from then to now. And yeah, I wasn't the biggest fan of this. It felt really weird to have this in here, and it was really short, and it wasn't very good, and just... I don't even understand the point of this or how this is really going to get people like, wow, I'm so excited. I'm going to go buy a Wolverine or a Batman comic. I don't think anyone's going to be excited by this. And the final story isn't really a story at all. It's just a couple pages, and it's Logo, which is Logan, aka Wolverine, and Lobo. So them two combined, and they're just collecting a bounty, and it's kind of just setting up like a future story in the next crossover, and that's it. Nothing really happens. I can't even really judge it. Like, there's nothing that happens. And that was it. So yeah, out of this, there were only really 2 stories that I really enjoyed, and one of those stories was 2 pages. So I wouldn't say this comic was worth your $7. I wouldn't really say it accomplishes the goal of getting you really excited for more comics. Like if you're someone new or if you're coming back after a while, especially if you're someone new and you're like, man, I really dug this Green Arrow Daredevil crossover. What else is Kevin Smith writing? It's nothing. It's is he on Green Arrow? Is he on Daredevil? No, neither of those. Even though there's a great Green Arrow book out right now, so maybe it'll drive people to check out the current Green Arrow book. But yeah, I don't understand some of the creative teams on here. I don't really get why they chose a lot of the creative teams on here, because you think you'd want to choose people that are currently writing some of your best books and throw them on here, so that way you could be like, hey, this guy's writing this, go check this out right now, or this is doing that, instead of being like, here's a lot of people that aren't really writing much anything right now, and the few people that aren't really writing anything that's top tier. So it's kind of like, what are you trying to get people to check out? What are you trying to lead people to after this? It feels kind of odd, but yeah, I wouldn't say it was worth $7. The Deadpool and Batman book I would say was good, actually. So I'll say there's 3 good stories. I'll say the Deadpool and Wolverine was good. The Wolverine, Deadpool, and Batman was good. I'll say the Green Arrow and Daredevil was great, and also the Guardians and Green Lantern was also great, but that was only 2 pages. So yeah, that's basically my final verdict on this. I'm hoping DC does better with theirs. We'll see, but I want to hear from you guys in the comments below. If you've read it, what do you think about it? And thank you so much for watching, and I'll see y'all later.
Hey, skinny boy, saucy boy, I be running to the bank. Yeah, you know I hit the gas in the whip full tank. Riding past the ocean while I'm listening to Frank.